YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here in a battle that fits the name of the map. The map is Fall of Man, and this battle accurately represents the name of the map as well. So this is a battle so big, so it's 4v4. There are over 8,000 units on the battlefield. Remember, that's in Warhammer. That's a lot because Colette counts as one unit. So looky here. That's just shy of 9,000 units on the battlefield. So this is going to be a huge battle, and it's on a pretty epic map here called the Fall of Man, which has this huge canyon in between. I have it on slow motion because right away we're going to get into some action up here. There's some harpies that were hidden, but the Green Knight has forward deployed, and there's some Pegasus Knights also forward deployed. So let's just kind of take a quick look at all the armies. I am going to pause it real quick so we catch this early action. I don't want to miss it because Bretonnia is looking for an early push, which is pretty cool. There's 3 Knights of the Realm and 2 questing Knights supported by a Damsel Lore of Heavens. And then there's a flying Leon Kerr on a Pegasus, it looks like. Not Beaky. And then he's supported by a Royal Pegasus Knights. The Empire has put a couple of Outriders there in the forest. And look at this, the Vampire, I had no idea you could forward deploy the Red Duke. Really? No, that's a friendly unit, my bad. Okay, sorry, I was like, what? Forward deploy the Red Duke. Vampire's even more powerful? Alright, so let's see, the Beastmen right here have Razor Gore Herd, Centaurs with great weapons. More Razor Gore, looks like some Ungore Spears, lots of cheap infantry here from the Beastmen, and then your typical double Gore Bull, Morgore type combination there. He's got a couple of Gore Herds with shields, and then the Harpy that we saw earlier. The Vampire player's got a Graveguard with great weapons, like randomly out here in his own. I guess these guys just really didn't feel like being a part of the crew. And then the main army, it looks like a couple of White Kings, the Claw of Nagash, and there was a ton of zombies, like lots of zombies. There's some Cryptors, Corpse Card over here, Unholy Lodestone, yeah, so just really a whole lot of zombies. And then there are 2 Chaos players. The front line here, I'm seeing several Chosen, a couple of Dragon Ogres, Chaos Knights with Lances, there's Blood Knights mixed in back here. Lots of Chaos Knights, Knights and Knights with Lances. So overall, it looks like this team is a 4-player. I think it's a 4v4. Maybe this one was just the 3-player. It should be a 4. Yeah, because you got the Vampires, Beastmen, and yeah, there's 2 Chaos armies because one is Kolek. Yeah. There's 2 Chaos armies, because here's Chaos Lord, Sorcerer of Fire. On the enemy team, which I say enemy, this is actually the last alliance of men, apparently, so that goes with the Fall of Men mindset. You've got Empire Knights, Halberds, front line of guns, so Midland here with the line of great swords with Boris Todbringer, fighting on foot amidst the great swords, so it's a way to inspire your troops. We got the Sunmaker, which is actually the unit that has the most kills per game out of any unit in multiplayer, believe it or not, so that thing can obviously do some damage per second. There's 5 crossbows here for this Empire player, cheap line of spears backed up by swords. We've got a Karl Franz and a couple of Demigryph Knights. No halberds, just Demigryph Knights. Yet another Empire player over here, several units of Pistoliers, a mortar, it looks like 2 mortars, yeah, so 2 mortars. And then I'm guessing, yep, swordsman in the back, spears, Karl Franz on Deathclaw this time. So, and then the Outriders forward deployed over here as well, and they're what's shooting the Harpy. So we got the Green Knight and lots of other units. Let's watch how it plays out. Epic battle begin. Like I said, the battle is so big and so epic that I turned the graphics down to 1080p because we are going to be hurting for frame rates at 1080p. Now, I am going to do something to try and help the frame rates in these huge battles. It's kind of for you, and it's kind of for me, so I'd be lying if I said it was all for you. I'm going... Ooh, look at these Centaurs. Gonna shred these Outriders. What a play by the Beastmen here. Gonna get some critical kills, and there's more Centaurs. These guys are stupid fast. Like, Centaurs are crazy fast. And here the Royal Pegasus Knights are gonna destroy these Harpies. So this is kind of a bit of a trade back and forth. Initially, the Beastmen were getting a great trade, but if they leave these Centaurs, I don't know though, they have the Razor Gore Herd, but the Razor Gore Herd's going to get hit hard by the Pegasus Knights. But you'd be surprised how much damage the Razor Gore Herd can do to cavalry after the patch. So let's see what happens here. The Royal Pegasus Knights are actually taking a beating from the Centaurs and the Razor Gore Herd. But now all the backup is here with the questing knights and knights of the realm, and I'm pretty sure the beastmen are going to take the worst of this engagement. But they've got infantry inbound, along with Morgur and the two Gorbals. So Bretonnia is actually going to have to either retreat or fight to the death here. I don't know about magical damage. I don't think Morgur has magical damage, which means the Green Knight should be free to be extremely annoying. He's not invincible, but he'll have 80% physical resistance. So we've got the So we've got Doomflock coming down, and then the Lore of Heavens spellcaster here does have, it looks like that was probably Curse of the Midnight Wind. I could be wrong. Yeah, the mortars are firing in here too, and with the beastmen heavily blobbed up, the mortars could actually end up being very effective. There's another fight going on down here. That is the Red Duke on his dragon, and he was fighting two Karl Franz, so Karl and Clone. And I'm not sure what the Red Duke ever thought was a good idea about taking on two Karl Franz. I mean, the vampires may be feeling good about one Karl Franz. Let's go check it out over here. The armies of Midland getting assaulted by the vampires, and then also Chaos. Chaos with a huge number of cavalry, but a nicely placed halberd here wanting to deny this flank. Though I'm pretty sure they could have busted through it if they were real serious about it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Midland is going to get overwhelmed here by the combined vampire Chaos Force, and someone taught me this neat trick where if I click the ground twice, I can actually fix the debug camera, so thank you for whoever suggested that. I'm sorry I don't remember your name right now. Look at this Empire player here too, also a little bit singled out, getting attacked by Kolek and 2 units of Dragon Ogres. There's a couple of White Kings here, but they'll be forced back. Mostly zombies coming in, and the frame rates are already just stutteringly bad, and this is at 1080. Look at the Sunmaker back here, 125 kills already. Obviously, probably killing a fair number of its own units, but as long as the Sunmaker can stay alive and get a couple more volleys, there is a beautiful blob down here for it to target. But I mean, Midland is just getting completely overwhelmed by Chaos, and Chaos is purposefully shoving on through here. If the Sunmaker, now these are just Outriders, so there's really no protection there. But I mean, look at that, 156 kills, such a short amount of time too. Now, granted, a lot of them are probably zombies, and it's impossible to tell, like, you know, the quality of the kills because you don't get chevrons on that type of unit. Now, Beastmen get singled out up here by Bretonnia, and the Beastmen are taking a beating. I see one Gorbal here that is pretty thrashed. There's one Chaos spawn up, and there's another Gorbal routing. So yeah, the Beastmen do not look to be in good shape. And the Green Knight is still pretty healthy, and he actually heals when he's in the woods. So if there's ever a chance for him to get in the woods, he can actually heal without any spells, which makes him particularly useful if you're not worried about magic damage in return. And look at the Chaos and Vampire combination over here. Though the Sunmaker picking up 156 kills before being silenced, Chaos is just making absolutely short work of this situation. The Dragon Ogre looks hilarious because there's like so few frames here, it's just like glitching around the battlefield. Holy smokes. I've never seen my computer struggle so bad. Yeah, so I'm going to be trying to get a 1080 Ti. Hopefully it'll give me a few frames back on these types of battles, but I mean, these battles just strain even the best of computers because so much is going on. All the physics, all the graphics and textures and everything else, and it will, like I said, it'll put to a test even the best of computers. Look, 75 kills here on this rocket battery. Down here we've got Chaos Marauders, Chaos Warriors, Kolek, Dragon Ogres, and then over here we've got a fight between Chaos Warriors, Chosen. The Chosen are going to have a heyday in here if these aren't great swords, and they are not great swords, so here's a place where you're actually going to see Chosen shine for once. They're in a position where they're not going to lose all their morale due to rear charges or artillery fire or something else, so although the Chosen aren't really made to take out high armored units, all these swordsmen and spearmen are not high armor units, and the Chosen will actually do quite good in that fight, and they should rack up a pretty fair few kills. They've already got 43 for almost... Whoa, that wind of death, though, from the Red Duke. 317 kills. Look what he just did to this blob of units from the Empire. Just cut a swath through him. 317 kills, wind of death. Unbelievable. So the Karls Franz did not properly dispatch the Red Duke earlier, and the Red Duke got his revenge. So he may have been bested in the duel, but he was not bested overall. killing a huge number of units there in a fight that they were honestly probably already losing. This greatsword's going to get destroyed by this Blood Knight, which is already... I don't know if it picked up 3 chevrons or if it started with that, but it's already got 91 kills. Boris Todbringer's tanking out an absurd amount of damage, probably from zombies, but these are just zombies, and that's a great way to keep that lord busy. The corpse cart is moving over here, supporting a huge horde of zombies. The fall of man indeed. The factions of men here are getting absolutely destroyed. The fast-moving chaos and vampire forces actually made, like, although there was huge damage that came in from the artillery, they made such short work of the army that the artillery really didn't get a long term to fire, so the artillery just was not protected well enough. Otherwise, it could have been fairly decisive in the sense that there was several choke points in the map where they could have created large blobs of enemies to fight. There are some Demigryph Knights here being chased off the field, broken in the face of all these Chaos Knights, and they were not Demigryph Knights with halberds, so Chaos Knights would actually perform quite well in that fight. Chaos Knights have a lot of armor, and they have pretty solid melee defense too for a cavalry unit. Armored, shielded. So yeah, if a unit doesn't have anti-large, Chaos Knights actually tend to do pretty well just because of how tanky they are compared to some other heavy cavalry. Outriders getting crushed. Karl Franz is doing his best to do something in this fight, but man, it really looks like the alliance of men is being broken, and indeed this map lives up to its name. It is going to be the fall of men as the forces of chaos and vampires rout the last alliance of men, send them running to their homes to enjoy their last few days alive before the forces of evil overwhelm the entire old world and also overwhelm my CPU and GPU. Yeah, I will show you all the 1080 Ti when I get it, and I'll run some comparisons. Now, the 1080 Ti is a very expensive card, and I'm just talking about this. And it's funny because I always get comments from people like, stop talking about electronics and gadgets. No. And the reason I won't is because I like that stuff. That would be like me coming into your house and telling you, like, whatever it is that you like to do for fun, like, stop it. Don't like that. Don't think about that. Don't talk about it. Yeah, no, I will if I want. And some people will be like, no, Air, it's different because you're in a battle. I'm in a battle on a computer. And it just so happens that computer parts and other stuff are a hobby of mine. So no, I'm not going to stop talking about it. But yes, I won't, like, spend every battle, all battle, talking about it. Anyway, I'm excited to get the 1080 Ti. It's going to be crazy fun to install and do some tests on. And I'll show you all the tests and the results of the test. Kind of whether or not it feels like it's going to be, you know, like what is it good for? Obviously, to me, I'm thinking it's mostly for enthusiast gamers. I'm still thinking that the sweet spot for value, and I'll talk about that a little bit, because I got a friend who has a 1070. I've got a 1080, and I'm going to get a 1080 Ti, and we're going to kind of test some of these cards together and kind of show you what the value level is for each card. And I think that for most of you, obviously the 1070 or the 1060 is actually probably going to be the most value per dollar. I'm thinking 1070 actually probably wins the value per dollar when you go on performance. But it'll give me a good chance just to show you all what it does, and if there are folks out there who are somewhat interested in getting it, hopefully it helps inform you a little bit, because I'm getting it anyway. And then the 1080 has actually drastically dropped in cost, meaning that some of you may be interested in it. So, you know, if I kind of, again, show you how it performs, which this is actually being recorded on a GeForce 1080, so it'll give you some idea of how it performs. And for the most part, unless you're in a giant 4v4 battle, or a map where, you know, Creative Assembly just hasn't optimized it and you get terrible frame rates, at 1080p, the 1080p, the GTX 1080 absolutely crushes Warhammer. I mean, it does an excellent job with it. At 1440, it is still very, very good. I think at 4K is where you'd start to see it drop off. But so if you're looking to run the game at 120 hertz, or, you know, something similar, a GTX 1080 at 1080p will do that. If you're looking to run the game at better than 60 frames at 1440p, then the GTX 1080 will still do that. But it will not get you 120, that's for sure. So I'm definitely interested to see what the benchmarks are on Warhammer for the 1080, to see how much difference that I get from the 1080 to the 1080 Ti. I've seen differences in upgrading the CPU before, but as I upgraded from the old, I think I had like a 4770 to the 6700, there was an improvement on the CPU side, But anyway, yeah, I've talked about this enough. You all get it. I like this stuff. We'll talk about it more another time when I'm actually doing the video. Let's watch the Green Knight and the last units here try and make a stand. Look at him running away. What is there to run away from? Face your doom. Face it with chivalry. Is that Lewin? I think it's Lewin. Yeah. Yeah, there is no winning. They might as well just face their death in an honorable manner here. This damsel's already like, hey guys, I really think I'm gonna cut out on this one. I'm really not interested. Flock of Doom. Yeah, Flock of Doom's not gonna do a lot. But it's enough to get the damsel to rout, or at least basically rout. So the Blood Knights catch up with the Green Knight, and Lewin is gonna have to come down. Lewin's not gonna want to fight Blood Knights. Not the type of fight he wants at all. Check out the Razor Gourd. Woo Pig Suey. Or Woo Pig Chewy, as I like to say. Here comes some Dragon Ogres, so now they're going to really start pouring it on thick. The Green Knight has no prayer whatsoever here. He's going to run away again. Oh, there's really no sense in running. He's unbreakable. Might as well just turn him around and fight to the death, because there is absolutely nothing he can do to face this type of onslaught. So there you have it, folks. The Fall of Men. It was a fun battle. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate this being sent in to me. I like seeing some of these themed battles, and in this case it was like all the forces of evil in the old world facing off against the realms of men. And notice how I said the realms of men there, because I'm guessing that Bretonnia and the Empire have their fair share of evil intentions that still go on. So it's kind of hard to say good and evil in Warhammer, because it seems like each of the factions kind of has their own bad swath, if that makes any sense. I kind of like it, honestly. It's pretty neat. So anyway, there you go, the Fall of Man. Huge battle, lots of fun. Thank the players real quick. Garland, Tallander, Pilsner, Zakalman, Elsetus, 69, Pantera, Slater, Pulsier. Thank you. Appreciate you guys playing the battle. It was a lot of fun to watch. Let's take a look at the some of the kills here. The Red Duke with his 317 kill, basically 317 kills off the Wind of Death. Thank you, Mr. Red Duke. That was entertaining. Certainly appreciate it. That Blood Knight, though, look at that. I know it had 3 chevrons at one point. It picked up another one. Again, I don't know how many chevrons it started the battle with. It very well could have gotten 160 kills, depending on what it killed. So pretty impressive performance there. Tallander, look at the damage with these Chaos Knights. Look at that, 4 chevrons on that one. Woo! Now again, some of these may have started the battle with chevrons. Pilsner also, look at that, kills there in the Dragon Ogre, 128, 163 with Kolek. Definitely a fun performance. And then the Beastmen, they took a thrashing early on, but to their credit, they lasted a long time and even had some units there left in the end of the battle. And it was pretty fun. So the first Empire player here with the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, 133 kills on the standard battery, which is pretty cool. The Bretonnia player, I like the early rush, but it got shut down pretty good, though. Some of these Knights of the Realm picking up some pretty impressive kill numbers. Slater here picking up 156 with the Sunmaker. Again, now you know why this unit gets the most kills out of all the units in multiplayer. It's just because it shoots so many rockets, and it just manages to pick up kills quickly. Usually dies fairly quickly in a battle, and it's very expensive, but still it gets the kills. And this Empire player here took a beating. You know, he took a beating. Not a lot of kills coming off him. So I think that this coordination here of all this Chaos Cavalry, along with just a huge swarm of Vampire Infantry, ended up being way too much for the enemies to handle. So you had these 2 Dragon Ogres and Kolek combined with all these Chaos Knights and Knights with Lances. And by the time you put all that together, you had a fairly sturdy force with the Chaos Warriors and the Chosen, and that just allowed the cavalry to just run completely crazy all over the enemy. So that, to me, that was a lot of fun. It was a fun battle. Again, appreciate those players. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed it, helps me out a lot. If you want to subscribe, you can click my logo in the bottom right hand. And then also, if you subscribe, it'll keep you up to date on when new videos come out, and I will be bringing you content frequently, so please feel free to stick around. Appreciate MSI sponsoring the motherboard that is in this computer that I'm recording with. Their help is always appreciated, and they're fantastic. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon.